Welcome to Section 420, Talking Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees dropped the big one, pull the Band-Aid off, designate DJ LeMahieu for assignment, cutting the Yankee veteran in a move that probably needed to be done, and you don't want to see it. And again, not to say LeMahieu's been garbage there, but again, you had to do something to shake up this team. I kind of mentioned in some previous episodes here that something was going to happen eventually. I don't know whether it was going to be DJ, Volpe, something with this infield, because just the lack of hitting, the lack of offense, and lack of production there. You had to do something. You knew Cashman was going to shake it up, and I guess this is the move. And it kind of makes sense. Again, you don't really want to see it. He's a good guy. Again, I know he's been dealing with injuries, not like a bum or like a Jacoby Ellsbury or a Cole Pavano guy you think is jaking it. But unfortunately, just wasn't producing the way you need someone of his ilk to produce there. And you had to do something, had to make some sort of upgrade with this team, especially when they're going through those doldrums and this sort of little losing streak before the Seattle series there. So cutting the veteran, so kind of pulling in Aaron Hicks on him, cutting him with this year and next year left on his contract. So it's about $22 million left that the Yankees owe him there. But even though he's making this money there, you had to do something. You can't keep carrying this guy around there. So the Yankees making the move. So we'll look into it. We'll dive into it before we get started. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talking Yankees, the podcast, as well as there's a YouTube version of the show. Not updated as frequently, but you want to catch it as well. So go to YouTube, search for Section 420 Talking Yankees, and subscribe there as well. So DJ LeMahieu, I know, he obviously had the calf injury. He was working his way back. A lot of stuff that would get revealed now that we didn't know originally. Now, I was predicting that when he does come here that he was going to play third base and they would put Jazz at second. So it was a little surprising when DJ was ready for the season finally. Boone had him at second base there, and they made Jazz move over there. So it was kind of a bit of a head scratcher. Now what we're actually finding out is that DJ told both Boone and Cashman during the offseason that actually his body wouldn't be able to hold up at third base. Now, I just always think that second base would be a more athletic position where you'd want to rather play third base if you have limited range with your body, but actually it was the opposite. He didn't want to play third base, so that's why he ended up at second base, and they moved Jazz to third there. So a little behind the scenes stuff, and that's something that never really came out of DJ's mouth with the reporters or anything like that. But now that all this went down there, DJ was the one actually didn't want to play third base, so that's why that move was made when DJ was eventually ready for this season. If you look at his numbers, he wasn't garbage. 266, which if you look at a lot of major league players right now, batting average is kind of it's not the way it was years ago where you expect someone to hit like 300s like that. So 266 is okay, it's respectable, but it's not garbage. But the production, DJ LeMahieu, you need him for production. And remember, this guy's a multiple-time batting champion, multiple-time MVP candidate, and again had some great seasons with the Yankees in 2018 and 2019. But if you just look up the power, just 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. I mean, that's not production. Even if he bops a single once in a while there, that's not getting the job done. You got to drive guys in. You need doubles. We know he's not a home run hitter, fine, but you got to do better than 2 home runs there. And again, just the 3 doubles. I mean, that's even if you're not hitting home runs, at least slash some doubles, get on base, drive guys in. He's just not doing that. And we've seen that some limited range there at second base. He hasn't been garbage, but some balls he's not getting to. And he's looked at some of the highlights of this recent Mets series at Citi Field. A couple plays that he's not getting to the ball. So, and I'm sure Cashman and I'm sure he's got his analytic team stuff, and they're probably going over so many analytics of balls that DJ's is not getting to. For the reason why they just got to get this. So you have a guy there who not getting to the balls, not hitting as much, not driving stuff in. What do you do with the guy? Now, originally, after the Subway Series, Boone sat down with the press and really didn't get to cover it in this last episode that they were going to downgrade because DJ's role in the team. They decided he has to pull him out of second base there and relegate him to a bench player. And at that point, you probably knew something was going to happen because you're not going to take a guy and just dump him on the bench. Just even if he's limited, he still has a reputation, he has a resume. So you kind of figured something was going to happen sooner or later. So they did make the move to take him out of the lineup, put Jazz at second base, and put Peraza at third for the near term there, and just relegate DJ to a bench player. And you figure something was going to happen. I guess then they just made the move afterwards, officially designating him for assignment, cutting him from the team there. Now, in the near term for his roster spot, they brought up Yoba Vivas. He's going to take a spot there as for third base. It's going to be a bit of a round robin, according to Cashman. You'll see a little Peraza, you'll see a little Vivas, and even he's the backup catcher, J.C. Escar. You might see him there a little bit as well because, as you know, Ben Rice, the Yankee backup first baseman, also we've seen him as a catcher as well. He can also play a catcher there. So, we got a little flexibility. So, J.C. Escar is not the only de facto backup catcher, and he'll have that third base. So what that tells me is this, trade deadline by the 31st of July, the Yankees are going for a third baseman. You're not going to stick the rest of the season with Peraza hitting like 150, JC Scara and Yoba Vivas. Those are just little slap hitters and singles hitters and nice little guys like that. But you can't be serious about doing that and putting like a serious team together. So the Yankees are going to make some move to get a third baseman here. That tells you that. And of course with Clarke Schmidt with the Tommy John hanging over his head, Cashman's probably going to have to go after a starter as well. I don't know if it's going to be a marquee name, but they're going to have to get another arm in there. Now, with that being said, we did see the debut of Cam Schlittler against Seattle there, and he was fabulous. 5 1/3 inning there. Gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, but you like to see, kind of the power arm there. 7 strikeouts in the 5 1/3 inning. Did issue 2 walks, but obviously lighting up the radar gun. We saw triple digits, 199 there. So very excitable young pitcher. The Yankees really haven't had a guy like this in a while. I know Luis Gil kind of buzzed and dazzled a little bit, but Luis Gil just kind of showed up on the scene, and Ridge was kind of a reliever. And then we saw what we could do as a starter there. But it's like the first time in a while the Yankees had like a flamethrower come up here, and you have a little excitement for it. So let's see how far that goes. And now, even though he was successful obviously in this first go around, looks like he's going to get one more start. So next time the quote unquote Clarke Schmidt spot comes up, Schlittler will get another shot at there. So if he sticks here, maybe he'll come up here the rest of the way. So we'll see how that goes there. So a little bit bad news with DJ, but seems some new blood there with Cam Schlittler. But definitely Cashman. Now he's going to go after a third baseman because he just can't have the round robin. But also, even with that impressive start in mind with Cam, probably also, if you read the writing on the wall, also going to be looking to bring a starter in here as well. And of course, bullpen help, and we always knew it was going to be a thing. The Yankees probably also looking to bring an arm there again. We saw Fernando Cruz go down there, and the Yankee bullpen been quite shaky over the last couple of weeks. Even we've seen Luke Weaver give some home runs there. But what you like to see, at least with the second game against Seattle there, the Yankee bullpen really come together. I would say a solid as you can inning from Luke Weaver there in the 8th, striking out all 3 batters there. That's the old Luke Weaver. So hopefully maybe he's fixed some of these problems he's had there, because he has not looked like himself ever since he's come back from his groin issue. And Devin Williams as well, closing it out, get the save, and 2 strikeouts of his own. So that's the Yankee bullpen we want to see. We're hoping to see those 2 there. I'm not going to go crazy and say, Luke Weaver's back, he's fine. So need a couple more appearances like that. But but obviously you smoked 3 guys there. That's pretty impressive there. So whatever it is, hopefully you figured it out, because if you don't have that solid back end bullpen the Yankees had during last year in the postseason, forget about returning to the World Series. No way they're going to do that. But gonna have to do something with third base. You just can't have that round robin there. And again, probably try to get another starter in here to lug some of those big innings there, because you got Stroman back at decent enough start again against the Mets, and the previous one against the Athletics there. But you still just don't know with him, a little bit of ticking time on. Is that knee going to give out? Is he going to go the whole way? You can't really count on him yet there. And we've seen the Yankee starters, scuffling up a little bit. Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, not as effective as they were a couple of weeks ago. That could be a little fatigue, could be a little bit, summer thing, some of the summer doldrums there. Not as sharp there, so Yankees definitely have some concerns there in the starting rotation. So the Yankees make the move. It's kind of a move that needed to be made. DJ LeMahieu just, unfortunately he's had the injuries, and I know he's come back this year and he's tried the best as he can, but you had to do something with this lineup and this infield. You can't really can Volpe, even though he's been really upsetting a lot of people just with the low batting average and leaving runnings on base and some occasional fielding blunder there. But he's the young guy, he's your future. You're not going to get rid of him unless you're including some big mega deal trade. So he's not going anywhere. Jazz is not going anywhere. Paul Goldschmidt's not going anywhere. And that kind of just leaves DJ as a guy. It's just, you got to do something with this lineup to shake it up. And if he's not providing the power in the bat there, and as well as if he has some limited range at second base and not getting to balls, that just puts pressure on the pitching staff, puts extra runners on. There's more pitches thrown. It just really hurts. Not only the starters but the relievers as well there. If you're giving away outs there, so Yankees needing to make the move, and it's to a point where you got to pay the guy $20 million just to make him walk, but you can't just keep carrying on there, because if he's hurting the team, he's hurting the team. So it's just an unfortunate situation. So DJ LeMahieu, no longer a Yankee. Will he get a job somewhere? Possibly. Remember the Yankees DFA'd Aaron Hicks, and he kind of got a job at Baltimore, and he kind of turned it around a little bit and kind of came on fire there, and then got himself another contract with the Angels afterwards. So let's see. And even Josh Donaldson, when he was DFA'd by the Yankees, got picked up by the Brewers. Got a little life left in him. You got a couple more, at least the remaining of the season. So let's see. Maybe DJ gets a job somewhere. So we'll just hope for the best. Catch you next time.